Hey, good morning, everybody. Just so everybody knows what's on tap today, I will be discussing the following in the following order. I'm going to be talking about Papa J. Powell, who speaks at 10 a.m. today. Let's remember what happened last year at Jackson Hole on the day that he spoke. All right, but I'll get into that and what I think. Next, the US dollar. I've made comments about it. It is spiking. It's above 104. It was at 104.35 this morning. It's back down closer to 104. We'll talk about the impact on the market. Then I'm going to talk about my SPY ranges. Let's know I've been pretty accurate as far as what the ranges are going to be, calling the tops, the bottoms. We're not looking to call the tops, but we need to know what to look for, where the dark pool levels are, et cetera, et cetera. And then again, I'll tell you the bull case scenario, bear case scenario, and we'll get back to my $500 challenge. In fact, let's just do that right now before we get into Papa J. Powell. Talk about my $500 challenge. I started with $500, end of week one, $1,000. End of week two, $1,300. I shortchanged myself on some trades. All right. Week three, I withdrew $200. Going into yesterday, I made a play on NVIDIA earnings. I was looking for AMD to drop. Understand, I was correct. AMD shot down to even below levels I thought AMD was going to drop down to. And I'll explain why NVIDIA dropped and why AMD dropped in a second. But I was contemplating pre-market how I was going to get out of this account without having the account go to like $400, $500. I was like, I would take a 16% loss on the day. I would take this. Anyway, I ended up selling my AMD puts for about $1.30 each. These same AMD puts went up to $600 per put. So I'm out at 130, taking a loss of like, 27%. And these shot up to 600, which means I left 500% on the table. So what did I do yesterday? I had to take off. Who's going to angrily revenge trade when they feel that the market owes them $14,000? I had 29 contracts, AMD puts. I would have crushed it yesterday, yet I sold because NVIDIA crushed earnings. Now, here's the catch about NVIDIA. So me personally, I'm like, you know what? Take off Thursday. Take off Friday if you're still emotional. I knew I'd be emotional talking to YouTube about it. I don't mind. Transparency. I'm not one of those guys on Twitter or X going, I made $20,000 today, $20,000 tomorrow, or like PB, $3,000 today. I'm trading smaller accounts to show you guys it can be done. I get just as frustrated. I was in an account yesterday, again, closed at 1,073. Remember, it was as high as 1,300, 1,073. I took out $200, and I'm hoping that I get to 2,000. If I had stayed, let me just share with you. My original concept was Palantir $15 calls. I was in 32 contracts. I was going to ask $1 at open yesterday. It went as high as $16.15. I would have easily got my dollar. 32 times $1, 3,200. But I did not. Again, I'll show you exactly what I was doing. Pre-market, all right? I was looking to salvage $600 from Robinhood, which would still put me up 50%, just down $800 in the last 4 days. My larger account crushed it yesterday. Anyway, so let's talk. I sold my AMD puts 129, right? They closed at 157. I did my best to trim my losses. The investment account was at 774. I took out $200. So basically 974 up, 100%. I'm going to start again. I was just telling everybody I'm going to start somewhere between $475 and $500 on Monday. So if you missed it last time, again, my goal is $3,500. Then next week, I saw AMD. I'm like, holy shit, I could have just got out. I could have been green on the day. Understanding if I was green on the day, and my strategy yesterday was to hold everything until at least 10:30 a.m. and make a decision. So I didn't listen to myself. You all are here trying to listen to me help explain the market. Sometimes we're our own worst enemy. Where did AMD go? Now at 196, I'm like, holy shit. Now I was too angry. I'm like, it's definitely going to $3 plus, okay? Then I mentioned how much money I left on the table at 308. I would still be holding 365. We knew it was going to 4, right? I'm showing that I lost 27% on the day. There's $4, would still be holding. I was talking about jumping off my balcony, 480. It went to $6, okay? $6. So I believe the market owes money. So what am I going to do? I'm not going to angrily trade. I sat outside in a rainstorm. I cooled down. I withdrew some money, and I'm going to start with $500 or $475 on Monday. Anybody that's welcome can join me. But the point is, I paper traded 7 straight trades on this account. I could have been at, whatever, $2,000, $3,000. Okay, so let's talk about what's on tap for today. Again, Papa J. Powell is speaking at 10 a.m. Understand, if no one remembers what happened last year when Papa J. Powell spoke, okay, the markets took a nosedive. They dropped significantly. Do I think that's going to happen today? Not necessarily. Again, he's speaking at 10 a.m., and I will share why. I'm going to talk about the amount of volume we saw on the SPY yesterday. Okay, the US dollar spiking as it spikes to 104. And I mentioned this yesterday on Webull and again on YouTube. So anybody that's here will understand as it goes to 104, and you can see it coming down. This is the US dollar this morning. 104.32 it was spiking to. Now it's under 104. As it comes down, it gives the market room to run. If you see later in the day, all of a sudden you're looking and the US dollar spikes up after Jay Powell speaks to 104.50 and the market hasn't dropped yet, it will. So understand what could potentially happen with that. Okay, bull case and bear case scenario. Let's get right into it today. SPY ranges. The SPY closed and is up, to 439 this morning? No, just under 439, 438.73. Okay, yesterday was a wide range. Again, to play on NVIDIA earnings. Let's talk about why NVIDIA went down. So let's do that before the SPY ranges. Okay, NVIDIA went down, all right? The stock had gained 25% in a week on a $1 trillion market cap, all right? It had gained 500% in 10 months. Earnings were indeed amazing, but smart money realized, man, this is going to be as good as it gets for a little while. There are hundreds of semiconductor companies out there, all right? Any of them could easily surpass NVIDIA's chip quality, all right? 6 to 12 months out. All right, and then you're thinking if the rally would have held up, right, the NASDAQ would have been up 4% in 2 days going to Jay Powell's speech. And then I think about institutions. They're already fully divested in NVIDIA, meaning going into earnings, if you wanted NVIDIA and you're a holding company, hedge fund, bank, institution, other kind of mutual fund, you already had all the shares you wanted. There's no extra money to say, great, they crushed earnings. We have 1 million shares. Let's buy some more at this insane level of $500. No, so you understand, as good as it gets. Now, if I had thought that yesterday, which I kind of just was hoping NVIDIA was going to miss, that was my play on AMD. But if I had thought this through yesterday, I would have realized, and I said they would probably fade NVIDIA earnings, but I just didn't buy myself enough time to be right. If I bought out till next Friday, I wouldn't have made one trade yesterday. In fact, I told myself no trading by 10:30, yet I traded before 10:30. So it's completely my fault. All right, SPY ranges. Let's get back to it. Here's your bull case scenario. Your bull case scenario is every time we have a day like yesterday where we drop 1.2%, 1.3%, something like that, it always rebounds. You always have a dead cat bounce. This is true. I went and charted back 16 months. So if you're with me this morning, you can understand the bull case scenario is we're going to bounce a little. All right, so how much is a little and what can the ranges be? Your bull case scenario. Your bull case scenario, let me just see where the SPY is trading right now. I like to be as detailed and specific as possible. Now, understand, we're trading at a range where we were about 30 minutes to close. And the volume at the close and the sell at the close, which goes down to 436.92, was pretty significant. So think about what's likely to happen when the market opens, gapping up a little, futures being green. It's likely we're going to touch that level. Now, whether we bounce off that level or not. So here we go. SPY currently probably just under 439, 438.75, closed at 436.89. So we're a full almost 2 points higher, okay? That's pretty significant. Understand, expect the market to drop on open, all right? Expect Jay Powell speaking at 10. Yesterday, end of day, sell off with heavy volume. Institutions like to trade very early in the morning and very late in the day. So they were selling into yesterday's close, okay? And they will probably be selling into this morning's open, plus Jay Powell speaking at 10 a.m. Who knows what he's going to say? Unless you know exactly what he's going to say and how the market's going to react, it's just silly to throw yourself out there because I have two scenarios that are going to play out today, and I can see both playing out, a bull case and a bear case. So the bull case is, all right, we're dropping on open, and people are going to like Jay Powell's speech. He's going to sound more calm, more dovish, not as aggressive, not as hawkish. We're doing a great job. Jobs are coming down. He'll say things like that. He'll talk about no rate cuts this year. Market already knows no rate cuts this year. All right. He's not going to mention a rate cut for March of 2024, which the market has priced in already. But people listen. So let's say they like him. Here's your bull case scenario. We drop it open. We closed at 436.90, let's say. We're already almost 2 points higher. We're going to come as damn close to flat as possible. Might we turn slightly red? We might, and then I expect the market to show some support. Again, this is your bull case scenario. Market shows support, boom, we're right back at that 438 to 439. In between that level, J. Powell speaks. What's going to happen? Whatever happens at first, expect the opposite. Again, before J. Powell gets on, he starts talking, blah, 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 10 a.m., blah, blah, blah. Market drops 100 points. All right? That's your time to get into calls. Boom. Or the market spikes off what J. Powell is saying. You're like, okay, we saw that huge sell-off yesterday. I'm going to take the top of that spike. Again, wait for support. Wait for rejection. Just don't go off these lips telling you do the opposite. You have to be sure and see the 1 minute, the 3 minute, 5 minute. But that's what I would be looking for. Okay. So your bull case scenario is we drop to 436.80. Okay. Slightly red. We're right back between 430, about 438. J. Powell speaks. It dips to 437 again. And then we shoot right up to 440. Okay. So you're talking about buying the dip. We're going to go touch yesterday's close, maybe slightly red, and then we're going to 440 and change, probably like 440.66. All right, up maybe like 4 points on the day. Okay, which would be what, little under 1%, point like 0.9%. That's your bull case scenario. Now your bear case scenario, which I would say 60-40 playing out if I had to put a percentage on it. All right, J. Powell's still speaking at 10 a.m., but your bear case scenarios. Hey, man, we don't believe this. Selling was pretty strong yesterday. All right. Sure, futures are green because there's always a dead cat bounce, right? That's what obvious traders understand, Matt, right? That's what you told me. You looked at your 16 months back. So then you say to yourself, okay, so bear case scenario, we're getting bought off open. We're starting out right under what, 439. We're right at 439, which makes it so easy. Okay, 439. We get bought up. Boom. 440. We look like we're going to 441. Whoa, it stops. We look at the dark pool level, and we can do that if anybody wants. You just got to ask. But let's say we reject $440.44. Let's just make it easy for your mind, okay? We reject it. Where do I think we're going? We're going back down to 436, and we might even turn slightly red. So again, your bull case scenario is we turn slightly red, and then we shoot up to 440, 441. Your bear case scenario is market gets bought up wherever it rejects, and then we're going down, and it will be red today. All right. So those are your scenarios. Again, I'm not telling you which one's going to play out, but if you see a spike, then a dip, you can be like, all right, first scenario is going to play out. If you see the opposite, if you see a dip and then you get bought out, and then J. Powell spikes, and we see a little dip and then more upward buying pressure, you'll be like the second scenario plays out. That's how I'm going to trade today. Me, I still feel like the market owes me $14,000 from yesterday, so I'm not going to trade today. Last thing I want to do is screw myself with a Friday 0 days till expiration option. Again, if I had bought out AMD till next week, my puts, I wouldn't even had to. I could have slept all day yesterday, not even caring what happened. All right, let's see what kind of questions we have today. Let me just make sure I got to my full list. Today I spoke about J. Powell, the US dollar, SPY ranges, bull and bear case scenario, and my $500 challenge, which I'll be starting fresh again next week. Why? Well, I doubled the account in 3 weeks. I doubled it after the first week. But again, I just want to give everybody a chance to get it. All right, so let's get some questions. All right, hit that like. Very important. YouTube's algorithms. Somebody told me the other day I'm one of the more underappreciated, underviewed people on YouTube. If you like what I do, please share the video. I almost stopped doing this because I was like, okay, not enough people want to see me doing this. And I think I'm providing good information. If you believe so, please share it on your social media. It's not really asking that much. I do this every morning. Today I've got 101 fever. Don't care, still here. All right, good morning. Yep, good morning. Hey, man, have you ever thought about making a what if account to play out one of those a what if account? Oh, so like I talk about specific trade ideas and I'm like, here's what I'm going to do today. You do enough with the strategy in the planning session, but let's say your strategy changes and the market opens and my thought process changes, but I was speaking about how I was going to buy DraftKings puts or something to that extent. I would be silly to waste an account, go into something that I was talking about pre-market when I go, okay, my philosophy on the market changed today. So please, you must use the flows and algorithms. If I must have showed you guys this, and I show it a lot, so I'll do it really quick. Not my room. Okay, but here's my room. All right. What do? I drop videos every day, 3 times a day with updates on exactly what I'm looking for. and what I'm charting and charting volume and stuff like that. But let's get to the flows and algorithms. This is what's important. You got a how-to room, so it explains how to. A lot of people pay $100 for a service like this. Again, we charge $35 a month, and we use trading ticks. So I'll go down here, flows and algorithms. Let's see what people are looking at. Oh, this is me. So let me give you an example. I was looking at Boeing. Hopefully you all can see this with me. I was looking at Boeing. Let me just get rid of this question. I was seeing Boeing puts are going up. I mentioned this one yesterday, pre-market. What happened to Boeing? Boo, it dropped. All right. Calls are still going down. Puts are still going higher. Price is still here. I was looking for Boeing turnaround because selling was pretty strong yesterday. And then I said to myself, all right, keep looking at Boeing, keep looking at Boeing. The algos agree, right? There's no divergence. Divergence would tell me if the algorithm said it should be at 224 and the stock price was at 218, or the stock price was at 218 and the algorithm said it should be, stock price is 224 and the algorithm said 218. If there's a bullish or bearish divergence, they usually meet in the middle. See how many times they cross and intersect? These are what you see when you see an algo flow. But what did I look? I said, okay, let's look at this one. Buys versus sells. Well, they're about even. There are more people selling. They're selling out of the money and more puts. So those that think that they're being a bear, the institutions are selling you out of the money, maybe $200 puts. You know, the ones at 200, Boeing's at 212 or something like that. They're saying we don't see Boeing going down to 200. So that means Boeing's going to range trade. It's not going to explode. It's not going to drop very hard. So if I say Boeing, which is a main play in the Dow, is going to range trade, I say to myself, okay, well, maybe the mass exodus in the market was over, which is the reason I could be bullish today to get that bounce. So again, I can see a bull scenario playing out, but J Powell speaking at 10. What happened last year when J Powell spoke? Market threw up on itself. So I could see a bear scenario played out. I already gave you my ranges today, but let's check out something else. Let's look at a net flow for like Apple. This is just how I start my day. I'll go back 3 days. Obviously, we should see something ugly yesterday. And then we'll check out the net flow for the SPY, and we'll go out 5 days, and I'll show you why I'm going out 5 days for the SPY. All right, first let's look at Apple. All right, there's still more in calls. Apple's price dropped from 183, bottomed at what, 176 and change. Here's what they did yesterday. They exited out of their puts. Apple's price was dropping and it still dropped more. They exited out of their puts. They stayed in their calls. They didn't buy more calls, but that could be seen as bullish because they exited out of their puts. I'd have to look at more flows for Apple. Let's look at the SPY. Now, this is what I wanted to show you guys a couple this morning, obviously. But here's what happened. On yesterday being Monday, on Friday before close, as the market topped out on Friday before close, here's where it topped out. You guys can see that with me. Before close, about half an hour before close, they were selling their SPY calls on Friday. They were selling their SPY calls. So the fact that the market dropped yesterday, not a surprise. Not a surprise. They were selling it. Oh, sorry. The market dropped yesterday, the day before yesterday, and today, not Friday. It was Monday. They were selling their SPY calls, which told me, don't believe this spike here, which again is another reason I'm so upset I got rid of my SPY puts that had everything. I zoomed in rather than zooming out. But here's where you can see the market was going to drop. How do you know? They got rid of their calls before 30 minutes before close. All right. They got rid of their calls. And again, today's Friday. That was Wednesday. All right. Market still propped up Wednesday right before close. All right. You got a spike yesterday morning. So again, you want to see this. If they get back into calls, if calls spike above net zero premium, I would say, okay, SPY could be bullish. Right now, they're getting rid of their puts as well. So you really want to look at the net flow, and you'll look at the net flow probably, 30 to an hour, into the day. You don't want to look at the net flow 10 minutes in. If the market spikes up to 439, what do you think the net flow is going to be? It's going to look positive. If the market shits on itself and it's 434 5 minutes in, what do you think the net flow is going to be? Negative. That's why you wait an hour. Again, you're looking to be, and I said this yesterday, you're looking to be profitable traders. Everybody that's here, yes, you woke up early. Let's say you're a day trader. This is all you do is stare at your screen all day, similar to me, okay? You don't have to be an active trader. You want to be a winning trader. A winning trader might say something like this, and let's just bring up the algo, and I'll show you with my cursor. Let me just get over to Discord again. All right, so we're watching white, all right? White is the price of the SPY. So this is a 3-day range, right? Let's just go to 1 day. We'll go here. Let's say I want to get into puts. The market's going up, market's going up, market's going up. Oh, it finally went down. Well, I don't want to get into puts. I'm not chasing. So I'm like, okay, I know I want to get into puts. Just wait for the confirmation. Don't see it. finally get into puts. This is probably 2 in the afternoon. All right. So you were waiting from 9:30 a.m. or you joined me at 8:30 a.m. You're waiting 4, 5, 5.5 hours not to make a trade, whereas you could be wrong. You could be wrong. But if you show patience and you wait for this. Now, why would I get into puts right here? Can anybody tell me that's watching? All right. If I'm watching the net premiums, what happened here? Puts crossed over calls. So right here, it told me puts were going up, calls were dropping down. The market could drop. So when I get the drop, let's just say I get in here, I get a little drop, then it spikes higher. I'm red right now in my puts. Once I get the first drop, I go, okay, did they drop off? So I look up, calls are still being sold, puts are still being bought. I get the second drop, all right? And then I'm out. Why? Because I like to scalp profit. All right, let's look at it later in the day. I'm just seeing if they cross over here again. If they had crossed and calls crossed puts and puts dropped out, then I would tell you the market's going higher, which it did anyway. But again, when you see a major move like this, no doubt the market dropped. They all unloaded. You're talking about net premiums, millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay, so hopefully everybody understands that. But that's just a couple of the ways I use Discord. Let me just see if I have any stocks to talk about. Do I want to talk about any stocks today? Well, since I'm not going to really be trading today, no stocks. Oh, I will be speaking about AMC. Anybody likes AMC? We're going to be talking about that on Monday. Why? Because AMC has been dropping. They have a market capital now. I don't know how the market cap went up 1.1 billion overnight. I'll have to look into that. But the market cap was like 800 million after they did the 10-for-1 reverse split. So I'll be talking about that Monday. Appreciate everybody that's here. I just want to see if I missed any earlier comments. Good morning. Hey, Matt, thanks for all you do. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I'll join everybody Monday morning, 8:30 a.m. Thank you again. Heading over to Discord. Since no one put it in, I'll actually do it today. Just in case anybody wants to join us on Discord, platform.com. I'll put it on the screen for everybody. But the point is, we have free public stuff. All the flows and algos are private. Again, people pay hundreds of dollars a month for that. We charge $35. If you just want the institutional fee, the feeds, it's $25. You can look up all the shit yourself. You want to get in DraftKings? Great. You want to get in Netflix? Great. You want to get in Disney puts? I'm sorry I didn't cover that today. And no, I wouldn't be trading Disney puts. When Disney was 98, I said it can go down to 84. Now that it's at $82 and it's at its lowest point since 15 years, I wouldn't be thinking, man, Disney's definitely going to drop 50%. No, if anything, I would say okay, maybe Disney will actually bounce here or something like that. Hey, man, I appreciate that. You guys keep nice comments like that. I'll keep coming back. I promise. All right. Thanks so much. Everybody have a great day trading. Be safe.